But it seemed like you were having trouble from the first question in, even before he spoke.
Well, I just had a bad night.
Yeah, he's got to come up with a better line than that. So Biden with a super important interview with George Stephanopoulos. This is going to be one of the things that he needs to rescue his career and his campaign. Was he able to do it? We're going to show you more clips from that interview. But already people are weighing in, including Nate Silver, saying after having watched it, I'm even more certain he's got to go. So let's see what else we have here. Let's go to another clip and then we'll discuss.
You and your team have said you had a bad night, but your friend Nancy Pelosi actually framed the question that I think is on the minds of millions of Americans. Was this a bad episode or the sign of a more serious condition?
It's a bad episode. No indication of any serious condition. I was exhausted. I didn't listen to my instincts in terms of preparing, and I had a bad night.
You know, you say you were exhausted, and I know you've said that before as well, but you came, and you did have a tough month, but you came home from Europe about 11 or 12 days before the debate, spent 6 days in Camp David. Why wasn't that enough rest time, enough recovery time?
Because I was sick. I was feeling terrible. Matter of fact, the docs with me, I asked them if they did a COVID test because they're trying to figure out what's wrong. They did a test to see whether or not I had some infection, a virus. I didn't. They just had a really bad cold.
Yeah, which one is it? Is it a really bad cold or a jet lag from 12 days ago? When you start changing your story like that over and over, it's not helpful. Okay, so the bar is so low for Joe Biden. He finished those sentences and they were complete sentences. So when you look at that tape, it's almost like a little bit of relief, like, but wait, hold. We have more tape in a minute. But first, let's go around a little bit.
Thanks for watching. Our audience has helped build TYT into the media giant it is today. Together, we can accomplish anything. Support our work and join us at tyt.com/team.
Yes, can you make heads or tails out of that? Is that like, okay, that's it, we dodged the bullet, or that's not reassuring yet?
It's not particularly reassuring. It's not surprising, of course, that's what he was going to come out and say. I will say, though, it looks like he's doing some rounds of damage control here. It doesn't sound like a guy who's planning to drop out of a presidential race anytime soon. So maybe the whole Kamala question won't even become a question at all. It's a very scary prospect, but as you guys were kind of alluding to in the previous segment, this is where the Democratic Party has gotten us, right? This has been in the works for decades, let's say, right? Let's go back several presidential elections. Let's go back to Hillary. Even let's go back to Obama, right? This is the Democratic Party that they've been crafting. They didn't let us have Bernie. They didn't let us have Elizabeth Warren. They gave us Joe Biden. This was the guy that they said we had to take. He was old 4 years ago. He's older now. He's 4 years older now. He's going to be 4 years older if and when he wins a second term in office. And so far, like just getting through this election cycle is very, very rough. His first debate was a disaster and did not instill a lot of confidence in people. It sounds like he's trying to do so now, trying to get some of that confidence back, what little bit that he already had. But even before that debate, he was struggling really to prove to people that he was competent and that he was cogent and coherent and that he's somebody who can do this job, the most stressful job in the world, for another 4 years. And that really is asking a lot of someone of that age. So maybe he was sick. Hopefully he's doing better now. But at the end of the day, like you have to be the president. And if you can't perform even on, maybe your worst days, that is going to be a problem.
Yeah, I'll have some more comments from the rest of the media about this interview as well. Let's watch one more clip before we go to Sharon. So here's his answer for why he was too prepared.
Did you ever watch the debate afterwards?
I don't think I did, no.
Well, what I want to get at is what were you experiencing as you were going through the debate? Did you know how badly it was going?
Yeah, look. The whole way I prepared, nobody's fault of mine. Nobody's fault but mine. I prepared what I usually would do, sitting down, as I did come back with foreign leaders or the National Security Council for explicit details. And I realized about partway through that I get quoted, the New York Times had me down at 10 points before the debate, 9 now or whatever the hell it is. The fact of the matter is that what I looked at is that he also lied 28 times. The way the debate ran, not my fault, no one else's fault.
But it seemed like you were having trouble from the first question in, even before he spoke.
Well, I just had a bad night.
Yeah, not a bad night, a bad campaign, a bad everything. But Sharon, what do you think after having watched a couple of those clips?
When the bar is so low to begin with, it was better. He wasn't, he finished a sentence, okay? This is the nuttiest conversation ever. We are sitting up here wondering, George Stephanopoulos actually probably took a day and a half to prepare for this interview to find out if the current president, a man who is trying to get reelected, is competent. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely nut job behavior here, okay? This is to the point of insanity, okay? I don't know if he's competent or not, but the minute I have to ask, it's over, okay? It's over. This is not going to help, okay? Unless he says, listen, somebody in the Trump campaign, we've learned from the FBI and Secret Service, they drugged him, they somehow got to his coffee, okay, or whatever he was drinking, a monster drink to keep him awake. They drugged him, and that's it. Let's move on. There's nothing else to see here. I haven't heard that yet. I haven't heard that.
Yeah. So Nate Silver saying he gave incoherent answers. The most generous way to put it is that he doesn't seem in command, and that's an extremely hard sell when you're commander in chief. And so now Nate Silver does polling, but he has been one of the people that have been warning throughout. He's losing very, very badly. You guys are not getting it. And he said it, Ezra Klein said it, I said it, Carville and Axelrod said it. But nobody would listen. So that was pre-debate. Post-debate, he's now in a much bigger bind. The polling is collapsing. So did that make it worse? Well, we'll have to see the whole interview to assess that, right? But was that enough for us to think, oh, all right, here we go. That's a guy who could beat Donald Trump. That's a guy who's gonna make a 16-point comeback, because that's what he needs. He was at 52% approval rating when he barely won the election in 2020. He's now at a 36% approval rating. That's why people like me and Nate, who understand numbers are not negotiable, know that 16-point comeback would be the biggest miracle in American political history. And does that guy look like, on his best day, for only a tiny 15-minute interview, like the guy who can do a 16-point miraculous comeback? My assessment is still no, not bordering, past, hell no.